Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video we will discuss about ASP.NET request delegate. So mostly in interview it is asked about how request delegates are managed, then what are different types of host in ASP.NET Core, then what is the difference between generic host and web host. So basically these are some detailed questions that are being asked to check like how much you know about .NET Core. So let us start the video. First will be like what is a request delegate. So request delegate basically, again, whatever request is coming, it handles each HTTP request, and these are used to create or build request pipelines. So in .NET Core, everything, whether it is request or response, it is based upon pipeline. So we have middleware that execute the request and passes the handle to the other middleware. So this way we have a full pipeline, and based upon this sequence of the pipeline it works. So it can configured using run, it can be configured using map, and it can be configured using use extension. So these are all the things through which we are going to handle the request. So this is called request delegate, and request delegate can be inline as an anonymous method. So basically request delegate all the things, all the middleware things that we do in order to process the request step by step is called request delegate. The another question that is asked is host in ASP.NET Core. So basically host encapsulates all the services for the app. So whenever an application starts, ASP.NET Core application, the resources which are encapsulated by the host are basically, first of all, HTTP server implementation is done, then dependency injection, again that is by default the property of ASP.NET Core, then we have configuration, then we have logging, and then we have middleware component. So host in ASP.NET Core, basically it encapsulates all the resources for the app. Then we have two types of host. One is your generic host and another is your web host. So what is generic host and what is web host? So generic host is recommended and ASP.NET Core template and .NET generic host on app startup. So whenever an app starts, it is set up, and web host is only used for backward compatibility. Then what are different servers that are used in .NET? So this is also very important. So different servers that can be used, because .NET Core is open source, so it is not limited to only IIS. So if we talk about the different servers that are used in .NET Core is IIS HTTP servers, that's in process. Then we have default Kestrel web server, that's cross platform. So we have a server for in process as well as out process. So configuration, so whenever there is a discussion about configuration, so configuration is being done using different files. We have launch setting.json file, we have app setting.json file, we have key value pair, we have environment variable through which we can set up the configuration file. So there are a number of things, and again it has its own priority. So if one is present, the other one will be superseded. Then if you want to read the configuration items from app setting.json file, we have this configuration. So we have two things in ASP.NET program.cs. One is configure and another is configure services. So just to check all the configuration items from app setting, we use the configuration, and as it is a key value pair, we can get the key value pair. So whatever value we want to get, we just need to use the key of that particular item. Then if you have multiple environments, so how you can use that multiple environment? In case of app setting.json file also, we have multiple app setting.json file where we have one for staging, one for development, and one for production. Similarly, we have multiple environment also. So this multiple environment is managed by another JSON file, and that JSON file is called launch setting.json file, in which we have multiple environment, development, and then we have production, then we have staging. Then in the pipeline we have different states, like we can set up how to use the static files, then authentication, then authorization, then exception handling. So all these pipelines, these are called middlewares, and we can use this. How routing works? So in MVC core we have both type of routing. One is the default routing, where we have this controller name and then your function name, and another we can set up the routing manually. So routing used to handle incoming HTTP request for the app. Routing find your best matching executable endpoint, and based upon that it execute the request. So if you go to your program.cs file, you have to, there are some settings that needs to be done. So just like app.use routing, so it makes sure that routing is done, and then you can define the path based upon the request, which particular function, which particular controller needs to be invoked. So through this way we can do the routing part. So these were basically few more questions for .NET Core. We'll be discussing some more questions in our coming videos. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for watching this video.